Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Angel. Today we're going to be doing my 25 to read in 2025. This is also day 3 or 4, I believe, of Vlogmas, so welcome back. You guys know I'm doing Vlogmas this year, which means I'm posting one video a day for the first 12 days of December, or at least trying to. I'm really hoping I can police through and edit them all in time, but life is busy. The list I made, it's kind of either like half of like new releases or half authors I just like want to keep exploring or try out. I also realized in making this list that I only own one of them on this list, so we're gonna be buying some new books next year. I'll start here because I have this one in my hands, but pretty much an author I've heard nonstop about this year is Bookman, and so the first 3 books on this list are all books by him that I've heard really good things about, but I haven't got around the chance to reading yet. The first would be Anxious People. First, this one I think it's like a bank robbery, and then during the robbery you get everybody's point of view who's in the building. You kind of see like all their thoughts and all that stuff that's happening. It sounds very interesting. The next one is Beartown. It's actually a trilogy, but I'm just putting book 1 on here because I'm not sure how it's gonna go. I do know it's about like a small town that like loves hockey apparently. Is like really like rooting for that. I'm not the biggest hockey lover, so I'm not sure I'm gonna like eat up that aspect of it, but I've heard it deals with like a lot of complex topic stuff as well. It might make it a little bit more deep. Also, I'm from Canada, so I feel like I should read at least one hockey book eventually. And lastly by him is, I think it's you say it, A Man Called Ove, or Ove, one of those two. I know nothing about this book besides that Frederick Bachman wrote it, and everyone I've seen read it really enjoys it, and so that had to go on the list, I feel like, too. We put that one on there. Next time you could say are cheating, but I don't think they are, because I officially started my Brandon Sanderson journey. I've read books 1 and 2 of the first Mistborn era, and I have a couple of the other ones ordered, but the big ones I'm moving on this year is books 1 through 5 of the Stormlight Archives, all 5 of them. So you have The Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, Oathbringer, Rhythm of War, and Wind and Truth, which is one that comes out in December. And I'm going to get to all of these, and these are all like 1,000-page bricks, so I thought, why not just throw them on there so that they're there. I don't have any other series on here except for that one, like full entire series, so I thought it was fine to put that on there because that's like a big feat to get done next year, and I feel like I really want to do it. And these ones are all just kind of like random ones because I've read books by this author and I've enjoyed them, or I kind of want to try the author out. I've heard good things. So book 9 is Never by Jessa Hastings. I was a person who's like very anti-Magnolia Parks when I first heard about it, but then I read it, I did really enjoy them. I will say they weren't like 5-star series for me like they were for some people. I thought they were very good, but like the second Magnolia book I gave a 5-star. That one, I think like the ending did things to me, but the other ones were all like about 4 to 4.5. Not like my favorite reads ever, but definitely not bad. I've heard very mixed things about this one. I know it's like a Peter Pan retelling. I think it would be a series if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. But this one came out earlier this year and I just never really was enticed to pick it up, but I would like to grab it to see if I would like to keep going with this author's writing, or if it's just like those characters and those stories that kind of like had me hooked because it was just messy, you know? Book 10 is Where the Library Hides. What's funny about this one is that I read the arc of What the River Knows back in like 2023, I think. I got an early e-arc of it. I was super excited. I read it, and I did not know at the time it was gonna be a series. I remember even saying when I reviewed it, I'm like, I'm so mad because I honestly don't like reading certain series as arcs. I think it's like just starting. So if you're hooked, you have to wait so long till the next one comes out. And now when I kind of like on a little cliffhanger ending, I was like so excited for book 2. Then honestly what's kind of just happened is I've kind of just forgotten about it. I know it was good, I know I enjoyed it, but like truthfully I could tell you like rough plots and things I remember, but like I don't remember what the twist was at the end. I don't remember our character's name, anything like that. So when I saw that this book had come out, I realized I'd heard nothing about it so far, but I do want to give it a try because I remember loving the ending of the last one, so I think I need to do a reread of Where the River Knows and then go into Where the Library Hides. Book 11 is one I've put off this year simply for the fact that it has not come out in paperback yet. If you guys know, I'm a paperback girly. I'm a hardback hater, I'm so sorry. But it's The Atlas Complex, so book 3 in the Atlas 6 series. I love Olivia Blake's writing. And I remember finishing the second book and being like, oh my god, I need to read the third one. I think I put a Libby loan in for it, and then when the loan came, I shouldn't read it for the 21 days and it went away. And now it's like back to the thing where it's like, oh, months it's gonna take to get it back. And so I think I was just gonna wait it out till the paperback comes in for this one and then read it. Book 12 had that same unfortunate thing where it was a hardback, so I didn't read it yet, and that was The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I read the entire Grishaverse by her, and I did also read Ninth House and Hellbent this year. Ninth House made me feel very stupid for the first little bit of reading it, and not gonna lie to anybody. So I feel like I was a little more intimidated by her adult writing, and I've heard this one was definitely a bit more like, you can just read the cover, it's a little bit different, you know? You know, this hand, that thing. But I'm excited to get to it when it comes out in paperback. Then I'll read it. The next one is another series I'm finishing off, which is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This one comes out, I think it's in May. The problem with this one was that I was like a decent fan of the first one, but I did have a lot of issues with it where I thought it came a little bit too close to the Hunger Games. Like there are some times like like, man, we're going to a games, we're having interviews right now. Like, it was just like certain things that were happening that were like too close for comfort for me, where it was like borderline, like, you know, getting inspiration and taking direct ideas. But I enjoyed that one enough where I picked up the novella, and I did like the novella. And then book 2, unfortunately, I think for me just kind of felt like the classic second fantasy book where we were just like, it was nonstop cat and mouse. There's going, like, nothing was actually happened in that book. I feel like it's like the very last like 50 to 100 pages. I feel like we could have just honestly made that like a really solid duology and not had that middle book potentially, but I'm gonna see what I think of the last one. And then an author I just wanted to try, and I've actually had this book downloaded on my Kobo for probably the past year and a half, is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. All those books look so like comfy cozy and I want to get into them, and then I just never pick them up for some reason. Don't know why. Didn't really know the premise of this book. I just know I love the covers. The covers are like so cute. Everybody seems to like them, and I want to get in on it. Kind of that same thing. I actually remember I read the synopsis of this book a while ago and it sounded interesting, but now I completely forget, but I still want to read it, which is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. This was really popular, I feel like, near the beginning of this year. I do have a couple other books by Ava Reed, I believe, like download on my Kobo ready to go. Like, I think I have Juniper and Thorn, maybe one other one, I'm not 100% sure. Like, I've heard good things about her writing. I just want to get into it. I feel like it always is kind of one that goes to like the back burner, and I kind of want to make sure it's priority this year. That's why I put it on here, to be like, no, you're at least trying one of her books by the end of this year. Reading and enjoying more adult fantasy and high fantasy. And so then to kind of keep going with that next year, obviously I'm gonna be doing a lot of Brandon Sanderson next year, and I was definitely gonna keep going with the realm of the Elderlings because I really did not like book 1 in the first year trilogy, but I'm currently finishing up book 2 and I'm loving it a lot more. So I think I will continue on with that series as well next year. Those are like 2 huge feats, so I don't really want to add on too much to my like high fantasy, adult fantasy, like, you know, workload, I guess you could call it. But 2 trilogies I've had my eyes on for a while that I really want to start. In the City of Brass, I'm not sure what this like trilogy in general is called, but I've heard nothing but good things. Like, whenever anybody says anything about it, it's always positive. Do I know a single thing about it? No, but like I'm gonna try. On that exact same note is 5th Season, and this one too I know is like a series that like I see all the time, like when I'm looking for books on like Marketplace. So I know it's a series I can probably like secondhand for pretty cheap as well, so it's not gonna be like, because you guys put this list, I'm buying a lot of books next year. So if I can help a little bit, that's great. I've heard it's kind of like a classic fantasy, like if you're gonna read, you need to read this. And the next 8 are all new releases that we have out so far. Authors I would love to add to this list if they drop more books next year. Obviously, Brandon Sanderson's gonna drop more books because that man makes like 5 to 6 books a year. He's a machine. If SJM wanted to drop the next Avatar book, that'd be lovely. Where's the updates? But my first one, dare I say it's like my first priority for the entire year, like the book I'm most looking forward to. If you ask me what book do you want to read next year, this is the one I want to read, and it's Sunrise and the Reaping. I was a diehard dystopian girly when I was younger, and The Hunger Games was my all-time favorite series. And I feel like a part of me still thinks it is, but I think Throne of Glass has now overtaken it, unfortunately. But that was like my series for over like a decade of my life. The second Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was announced. I was hoping it was Hamish story, and then when it wasn't, I was gutted. And then when she announced this one, I was like, it better be, and it is. I'm already in shambles just like thinking about it and going back into that world and going back into Panem, but I am so excited. Top rate of the year, already calling it. And then shit on more of like authors who I absolutely love, who I can't wait to see more from. Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. If I'm wrong, but the synopsis is pretty cute, where things like these 2 authors that kind of go to like this island or like a little trip where this one person lives, and they're fighting to write a biography about them. I think that is what it is. I could be so wrong, but I believe it's the premise. One of my favorite authors I've discovered in the past year to year and a half is Abby Jimenez, and her new release Say You'll Remember Me is coming out, and I'm so excited. She has said that it's a Taylor Swift reference, so love that. I also did request this arc probably like 2 weeks ago, and I haven't heard anything back, so if they want to send it to me, I'd love that. Thank you. Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This is the 3rd book now in the Rose Hill series. Book 1 was like a 4 to 4.25 star for me, but book 2 was a 5-star again. Elsie Silver, I love this woman and everything she writes. It's gonna be another like probably day of release read. I'll have it. Next one I don't know anything about, but I'm very intrigued by it. It's Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've now read TJR's entire backlist, and this one I know nothing about, but the cover kind of gives Daisy Jones and the Six. A lot of her books kind of hovered around like a 3.5 to 4 star for me. I didn't really have many 5 stars from her except for Malibu Rising and 7 Husbands. But I'm excited to see what else she comes out with. I remember The Moon Hatched about a month ago now, and I think I rated it like a 4 to 4.25 star, and the sequel, The Ballad of Falling Dragons, is coming out next year. I'd at least give it a try to see how I enjoy that one. What I'm so excited about. I have no idea what this book is about. I believe it's fantasy, but I could be wrong. R.F. Kuang's book, Catabasis, is coming out, and anything R.F. Kuang writes, I will read and rate 5 stars. I've actually discovered that. Like, that's something that will like always take place. I truthfully think maybe like the first popular book wasn't a 5 star, because I just like giving first books in series 5 stars. I think it was like a 4.5, 4.75. every book I've read by her, Babel, Yellowface, the last two Hobby Word books, they've all been 5 stars. Love her to death. And then The Mouthful, the last one, very last book I have on my list so far, is Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil. This is the new book by V.E. Schwab coming out. I've seen a lot of people read the arc so far and say it's really good. They've really enjoyed it. I have enjoyed most of the V.E. Schwab books I've read. I love the Shades of Magic trilogy and I loved the Villains duology. But besides that, I read one standalone and it was Gallant. I honestly didn't really enjoy that one. I don't know if this is a standalone or the start of a new series, so we'll see how that one goes for me, if it like standalone for series matter and her writing to me. The only person I think besides SJM, where like if they announce a new book for next year, I'd immediately put this on this list, would be Kristen Hanna. I do love Kristen Hanna. I'm catching up on her backlist, but I am finding that the further I go back into her backlist, like the less I'm enjoying it a little bit, because I feel like she kind of used to write more to kind of like literary fiction almost, and I've really enjoying her historical fiction she's been coming out with. I found that's something like I really love and just like hold on to, like The Nightingale, The Women, Four Winds, Great Alone. Those books have been easy 5 stars. I don't think everything else has been kind of like a 4.5, 4.75, I think. All right, friends, I would hold up the stack here, but like I said, I only have one book in my possession. But that is my list of books I want to tackle in 2025. I'd love to hear if you guys have any similar ones, if you've read any of these, what your thoughts are of them, and what's on your list for 2025, because I'm really hoping I have a really good reading year next year and just stick to this. So I don't really know if I made a 2024 like reading list of 24 books I want to do, but I made like a general TBR and I don't think I did a lot of it. I did some of it, but not a lot. If you're enjoying Vlogmas so far, please remember to like, comment, subscribe so you can stick along for the rest of the videos. And also TikTok, Angel's Book Corner. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!